So over the past 2 years, I've been exploring the cemeteries of Puerto Rico. Mainly for their beauty, their tranquility, and the richness of history. But in today's video, we're looking at the uglier side. And by no means is this a disparagement to the people and the government of Puerto Rico. I think they've done an amazing job maintaining the cemeteries here, considering the obstacles they face. You gotta think about it. Earthquakes, hurricanes, just the natural tropical climate and the economic climate. So by no means is this a disparagement of the people of Puerto Rico. If anything, this video is a reminder of how temporary things really are. And to be honest, the only true legacy we leave is in our deeds and our actions and the way we treat others. So I just want to give a quick warning. Some of the content you are about to see, some may consider disrespectful or macabre. There are exposed coffins, exposed graves, and remains visible in the video. So I just want to let everybody know this might be a good time to click off if that's not your kind of thing. Today we find ourselves in the municipal cemetery of Mayahuez. This was established in 1875, I believe. So considering the age, it's very well maintained by the municipality. So here we can see signs of erosion and just age. Basically, this is what the tropical environment does to all types of things, not just graves. It's an uphill battle. I'm not sure what happened to this grave. Such a strange way to... just the damage is strange. This is Aguadilla Cemetery, established in 1813 and suffered extensive damage in the earthquake of 1819. However, the municipality of Aguadilla has done an amazing job trying to preserve this cemetery. And this is probably one of the most beautiful cemeteries I've seen in Puerto Rico so far. Maybe because it's coastal, but hey. And even with the maintenance, we can still see signs of age and damage. There's really not much you can do about it. But this is definitely one of my favorite cemeteries. And unfortunately here we can see signs of erosion. This next cemetery is in Mocha, Puerto Rico, and there are small sections that have suffered pretty bad damage due to Hurricane Maria. So we can see a grave collapse here. Thankfully, a lot of the bodies have been removed and relocated. However, not all of them have, as we're about to see here in a second.
I don't know how well you can see this, but there are human remains in there. Yep, rest in peace, bro.
So what we're about to see here are the remains of a coffin. I have no idea why it's sitting there or what the situation is surrounding this, but unfortunately there were human remains. It's not really visible on camera, but yeah, no idea why this is there. It appears I stumble across a sinkhole or entire grave collapse that actually looks like it took multiple tombs with it. Yeah. This was a bit shocking to say the least. However, the municipality of Mocha is working to repair this. And unfortunately, this is the nature of a tropical climate. This, unfortunately, is the old cemetery of my hometown in San Sebastian, Puerto Rico. Established in 1863. And to be honest, I don't know why the damage is so extensive. I have seen them clean the cemetery in the past. However, at the time of recording, it was extremely overgrown. And in this cemetery, we can see many open graves, many collapsed graves. Just so much destruction. And as you can see, how quickly nature overtakes things on the island. These were old, what do they call them? I think they call them oven graves or something like that. This used to outline the old cemetery, however, most of them were collapsed. Whether due to time or hurricanes, I'm not 100% sure. Here we can see where they have tried to cover some until they can get some repairs done. Yeah, many graves here are cracked, and you can actually get a camera in there, unfortunately. Again, just the level of devastation in this cemetery blows my mind. And again, I'm not faulting anyone. I mean, this is just what happens over time, especially in this climate. So here we can see a water-filled grave. Now again, this cemetery is very old, and it's just suffered extensive damage, neglect. I honestly don't know. I wish I did know more about the cemetery. However, I don't. You'd think I would, being in my hometown. So as we can see here is a completely open grave. which they have tried to make repairs, temporary repairs too. And unfortunately, the cemetery is home to drug use as well. I haven't been by the cemetery lately to see what repairs have been made. Maybe I'll do that later on. However, it's just extremely overgrown. This is a cemetery my friend lived behind back in the day. And I'm talking in the 90s, sometimes bones would wash down into his backyard. It terrified him. Here we can see a coffin and, well, not really any remains left. Well, I don't know if that's unfortunate or not. I wish I could say this is the worst of the cemeteries I've seen. However, in the upcoming segments, unfortunately, it gets worse. I do not intend to be disrespectful with this video. However, I know everyone has different views on death and funerals and burials and whatnot. So I'm kind of curious. If you find this video disrespectful, let me know in the comments. Or just let me know your take on burial and death and how cemeteries should be maintained. And what we can maybe do about it to not let this continue to happen. So what we're about to see next is pure Hurricane Maria damage of the new municipal cemetery in San Sebastian. And there's the coffin pile. Now these coffins were exhumed and the bodies were properly relocated. So it's not just bodies thrown in a pile, guys. However, it was shocking to come across. And this is the effect of a massive landslide during Hurricane Maria in the new section of the cemetery, unfortunately. It was definitely shocking to come across, trust me. I actually came here to film a product review video and stumbled across this several months ago. It has since been cleaned up. Not sure if that was due to my previous video or what, but thankfully it's not visible to the public. Here we can see just from repairs in the landslide. It's kind of hard to see, but there are coffins extruding from the ground along the side. I believe this was already damaged, so they went ahead and made a path. I mean, during hurricanes, you work with what you got. So here's more evidence of the landslide. This is obviously several years later. However, this is the damage inflicted upon the new section of the cemetery. It's absolutely amazing. We may never know how many bodies are underneath there, unfortunately. But they are trying their hardest. So, gotta give credit where credit's due. Here I came across a random coffin lid. Not sure how it got there or anything, but there it is, guys. And finally, today's video leads us to Lares, Puerto Rico. One of the most heavily damaged cemeteries during Hurricane Maria, and probably the poster child of Hurricane Maria when it comes to cemeteries. This cemetery, unfortunately, due to a landslide, lost over 2,200 bodies. Some were filmed floating down the river, and as we can see here, it's cordoned off for the protection of the public. And they are still working, as you can see. This is 5, 6 years later. Yes, this cemetery was extensively damaged by the hurricane, unfortunately. I actually recorded this footage while trying to find the tomb of Doño Bicicleta. For those of you who don't know who Doño Bicicleta is, I highly recommend Googling him. It's a fascinating story. One of the most infamous characters of Puerto Rico. However, here we can see just the amount of damage Hurricane Maria inflicted upon this cemetery. And we can see them working. By no means do I blame the people or the government of Puerto Rico. However, I was threatened to have the police called on me for filming in the cemetery on that day. I took the initiative and called law enforcement, and they told me I was well within my rights. But I guess that's a story for another day. And unfortunately here, we're coming across a completely exposed coffin. Yes. Sad to see, but this is the reality. Well, guys, if you liked the video, definitely like and subscribe. And I really appreciate you guys watching and taking the time out. Thanks, and I'll catch you in the next one.